Well,
So, revered Swami Nirmalatmanandaji Maharaj and all the devotees who are assembled here. We are very privileged that Revered Maharaj has kindly agreed to tell us something very interesting about how the Vedanta movement, because in Brazil, not only started in a very miraculous way, but also is continuing to expand so fast in that far off land, South America. So, and Maharaj was there right since its inception. He was the first monk to uh, take charge of the Brazil center, and they have just completed 25 years. So there is a nice documentary which they have made, but it is in Portuguese. But David Maharaj will explain that, and also some photographs are there based on which he will kindly explain to us how the Vedanta movement has taken shape in Brazil over the last 25 years and even before that.
yeah, this. Okay. Revered Swami Nirmalatmanandaji Maharaj, other devotees and friends, those who are present here personally, and those who are listening online, to each and every one of you, I convey the greetings on behalf of the devotees of Brazil, because they are always very fond of sending their greetings or namaskar, as you say, to the devotees, whoever it may be and wherever they are. They always say, "Oh, you are going to the center, please tell them, convey our greetings to them." So it's great to see how Sri Ramakrishna works in a very unique way in different parts of the world. Once Sri Ramakrishna had a vision. He said, I saw, Mother showed me that in far off places, there were all white people. They were all seeking spirituality. And on another occasion, he says, whoever prayed to God sincerely, even for a day, they will come here, showing his own body. Whoever prays sincerely, even for a day, they will come here. When he says come here, I was always wondered, he doesn't say that come to me or come to this person or anything. He always referred himself the seat of Divine Mother. He used to say, he used to comment, or he used to teach, this is the house of Divine Mother. She is the indweller, and this is her house. This is her vehicle, and she is the driver. As she drives, the vehicle moves. Whatever she wants, the way she wants, she will use that. So this consciousness has been all the time a living consciousness. It is not just one experience or one day experience. He has been like that. Sri Ramakrishna is a fittest instrument of the Divine Mother to convey the greatest message about the reality of God, the reality of the creatures, and the connection between what it created and who is the creator, God, this world, and you. So he has explained very clearly. To understand Sri Ramakrishna's words is not so easy. Even for Swami Vivekananda, it was not so easy. What to speak of us? But we can get a hint from his words, from his teachings, what he was and what he conveyed is not just the message he conveyed about what he himself said. It was the Divine Mother who spoke through Sri Ramakrishna, all through. Whatever words came out of his mouth, it was the Divine Mother. 2000 years ago, the planet had the Father and his Son. 175 years ago, uh, we have the Divine Mother and her Son. So that's how we look at it. So it is a phenomena, which is a fact, but difficult to understand. Christopher Isherwood, he says, what is a phenomena? A phenomena is a fact. It is there. It happens. But it is difficult to understand. It's very mysterious, difficult to understand. That's called phenomena. So in Sri Ramakrishna, it's a phenomena to say so. To understand his words, his teachings, it is not so easy straight away to approach him. So we take the help of Swami Vivekananda or all the disciples and his disciples, and that is how we move slowly, slowly, slowly. So, for example, I was always wondering, people ask, when will this confusion will go? When will these doubts will go? We all have confusion, we all have doubts every moment, every time. When will this go? Sri Ramakrishna says, with God realization, all the confusion will come to an end forever. Not temporarily, end forever. That is very high for us, extremely high realization. But confusion we know, the other side we don't know. So there is a process. He has already given a process how to reach the stage of getting rid of all the confusion, all the doubts, all the fear, everything. So it's a process. So people are seeking this kind of solution everywhere, whether you're a Christian or Hindu or Muslim. Suffering does not discriminate. Suffering comes to everyone. Yeah. Even if you are not a believer in God, suffering comes. So take out the blood sample of one Christian or Muslim or Hindu and go and see in the laboratory. You don't see any difference between this person or that person or all those things. So these religions are our identification with certain things. Is our citizen. Everything has a condition. Yeah, we have a conditioned existence. So the whole process of our spiritual development is nothing but trying to go beyond all conditions. That is all the whole process. Whether it is yoga or whether it is trying to practice any type of spiritual practice that you make, it is all one objective is to go beyond all conditions at the physical level, mental level, emotional level, intellectual level, including your identification of the I and mine. What is the cause of suffering? He said once, you are suffering because you are far away from your real nature. Finish. One reply. Your nature really is such and such, Sat, Chit, Ananda, or whatever it is, but you are far away. We identify with the body, we identify with our mind, I and mine. It's not anything wrong in that. He says you have to go beyond it slowly, steadily. It is not something false or it is not something Maya. No. It is only a limited existence, and we are confined into that limited existence. I am a monk, I am a doctor, or I am this, I am that. It is nothing wrong in that. It is a way to something higher. From the name and form, you go to the nameless and formless. So this has been searched by all the devotees everywhere. There were many devotees, whether he is in South America or Africa or United States or in Europe. They have been searching what is the solution. So there is one solution for many types of problems. And the problems are everywhere. Problems, suffering, they do not discriminate whether you belong to such religion. Nothing. It strikes everybody. So in Latin America, so coming to the state, there were some sincere devotees who were seeking some such solutions. And when they come to know about Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta, they were astonished by what they were seeking. The other day, one of the devotee, he was connected with the Vedanta so much. He said, Swami, I was wondering about what is the significance of life and where I get it. And I was a bit confused. While I was wandering in Amazonas. And I came across somehow the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. And immediately my mind settled. And thereafter I began to move ahead in this to Vedanta, and he was practicing. So like that it happens. We never know how it works. So Sri Ramakrishna gave a solution to anyone in any part of the world, does not uh, limit to any kind of religion or seekers of spirituality. So we have a physical consciousness and its manifestation. We have a mental level of consciousness and manifestation, emotional level and manifestation. Behind all this, and the basis of all this, in fact, all these are happening on the basis of spiritual consciousness of your true nature, of our true nature, whoever it may be. Once you know that, you have the solution for anything, everything. And in fact, that is the objective of human life. I asked long ago, if I meditate one day, what do I get? So 30 days and 1 year, 40 years. So much you'd spend time and energy. What do you get? So we should be able to clearly see these are the benefits by practicing spiritual disciplines. And that is how we move. It is not just only Indian culture or Indians only move. There are seekers like this everywhere. There might be many in number, because all are playing with the Divine Mother's toys, as Sri Ramakrishna says. Divine Mother creates and then put a lot of toys in front of them, and they play. As long as they play, Mother does not care about it because he is happy in playing. But the moment the play is not anymore tasteful, it throw away all the toys and then begin to cry. And mother, who is in the kitchen, simply throw away everything, comes running and take the child. That is how it happens. So many people sometimes ask, why millions of people they don't seek spirituality? You don't have to worry about it. Is it important for you? Then you go for it. Nature is not in a hurry. Divine Mother is not in a hurry to give us liberation. They have their own method. Yet seed has its own time to grow. So therefore, if you look at it in a broader way, with an open mind, it is one of the most interesting signs of searching for spiritual truth. So these devotees from Latin America, perhaps they were very eager to find out a solution. They had their own religion. Brazil, for example, is a 500-year-old strong Christianity. Argentina, the nearby country, you can imagine, if you want to become a candidate to the president, you have to be a Catholic by law. Otherwise, you cannot stand in election. Can you imagine? That is the law. So there was one president, Mr. Mann. He was a labor leader. He was a Muslim, and he had to convert to uh, Catholicism, and he won the election, and he became president in Argentina. But in Brazil, it is a little different. But whatever it may be, so a strong religious identification is there with Christianity. And Brazil is the most populous Catholic country in the world. That's why when Pope assumed the office, he first visited uh, Brazil. Brazil is a huge country, 2.5 times bigger than India, since you all know the size of the country. 2.5 times bigger than India, and 1/3 is of Amazonas. The number of creatures in Amazonas is perhaps more than the total number of creatures that you find in the rest of the world. That's it. It's like a ocean. So the coming to now the point that we are going to discuss, it's interesting to see how these Latin American people, whether in Brazil or Argentina or Peru or Uruguay, they are seekers. Seekers are there everywhere. For example, Uruguay, when we went there first time in 2002 with the then General Secretary, later on Swami Nirmalatmanandaji as the president, there were about 200 people gathered wanting to hear about Vedanta. And they organized a function. So the idea of this, you have to see it in a very broader sense. The seekers are everywhere, no matter where it is. True seekers are in every religion, and true seekers of spirituality is less in number. Others have faith. According to a study, 98% of the Brazilians have faith in God. But the intensity of faith, if you scratch, you will know what it is and to what extent. There, the churches, for example, on Sundays are full, not like Europe or USA. Uh, They go to the church, it is part of their life. And we have a lot of friends among the Christian community. They invite us, we invite them. And mainly, Brazil is a Catholic country. Brazil has a population of 230 million, a huge country. If you compare the population with the amount of land and things have, it should have been one of the richest countries because it has so much of natural resources. No depth of water, no depth of electricity. In fact, the underground potable water is so much reserved that it can feed 5 years for the entire population of the world, according to the study. With all these, somehow it has been lagging behind the the developed countries or developing countries, but they are trying their best. The people are very warm, very kind, affectionate, and very joyful. You rarely find any morose faces. And they used to say, you can give away anything to keep your smile. That is the popular notion there. You can give away anything, do away with anything to keep your smile. Literally, you can see. And they're all very musical by nature, loving, affectionate. And they may not be rich, but whatever they have, they can share with you. For example, who are taking care of this Swami or Ashrama? They themselves. So from the beginning, I told them it is for you, the ashrama, and you people should maintain, and and they do it with all joy and happiness. So coming to Vedanta in South America, I must say, in 1932 or a little before, a group of devotees from Argentina, that is Buenos Aires, the capital, they went to Belur Math and requested the then Maharaj, President of the order, Swami Shivananda Maharaj, to send a Swami to Argentina for the benefit of the spiritual seekers. And Swami Shivananda Maharaj agreed, and he sent Swami Vijayananda Maharaj, who was a disciple of Swami Brahmananda Maharaj. And he even did not agree to come to South America. He went to M. Mahendranath Gupta and told, no, I am not interested to go to South America, such a far-off country. And at that time, you see, it was in 1932. And M scolded him. What is this? On one side, you say you are a soldier of Swami Vivekananda. You should be ashamed of telling like this, go. So M ordered him to almost gave a order to, and he accepted. So he came and he was a very wonderful personality. To give an idea, Swami Prabhavanandaji, Swami Vijayanandaji, Swami Ashokanandaji, they were all almost at the same level. Especially Prabhavanandaji and Vijayanandaji, they were disciples of Mahaprabhu Maharaj, Brahmananda Maharaj, sorry, Brahmananda Maharaj. So he came and he started the group. In Buenos Aires, you will see the statue of Rabindranath Tagore, because Rabindranath Tagore, he visited Argentina and there is a statue. People know about him because of his getting the Nobel Prize at the time for the literature. But he did not visit Brazil. Rabindranath Tagore did not visit Brazil. But people come to know about the Indian spirituality, Indian, the literature greatness of Rabindranath Tagore. And slowly, and especially, they came to know about Swami Vivekananda and his success in the Parliament of Religions in 1893. Soon after that, it must have spread. Maybe some Brazilian must have participated in the Parliament of Religions. We don't know. But it began to work. Without Swami Vivekananda being in Brazil or in South America, they began to grow. His message began to take roots. So in 1909, there was a group, esoteric group, started. It was a church. It's a church. Even now it is a church. At that time, it had a huge number of followers of Christian faith. And one of the patrons was Swami Vivekananda. So one Portuguese man who was the founder of this church, he put Swami Vivekananda as one of the patrons. So even if you go there now and see, you can see 3 of the friends of this Portuguese man and 2 others, and one more was Swami Vivekananda. They were the patrons of the church. It's more than 100-year-old, 110-year-old church. And in 1925, Swami Abhedanandaji's book, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, was translated at that time and published. So one day, one of our friends, one of our devotees, they were searching something in the old books shop, and they found a copy. They brought to me. And there are other developments at the time. Anyway, to make the story short, there were some roots looking for something substantially, truly spiritual. So they came to Vedanta, they came to Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda's teachings. They were real seekers. They are not many in number, but they are truly true seekers, you can say. They formed a group. In Argentina, they formed a group and got the Swami. The Swami was there and working and giving talks and philosophy and religion, everything was going on. 25 years later, we will see it in the video, which I don't want to interrupt too much. One group from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro, the city of Rio de Janeiro, it is called Marvelous City. They invited Swami Vijayananda Maharaj from Buenos Aires to visit Brazil, and he agreed. And he visited Brazil and used to spend 1 month or a little more every year. It was in 1957. In 1959, another gentleman from São Paulo is a huge city, he went to Rio de Janeiro and invited Swami to come to São Paulo also. Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, about 450 kilometers away. On the very first day, Swami Vijayananda Maharaj initiated this gentleman who invited him to visit Sao Paulo on the very first day in the hotel. Yeah. So the story goes like that in 1957 and 59, and he started a small group in Sao Paulo in his own house. He was staying with his mother. It's a small house, like a duplex, you can say, about 150 square meters. And he was a piano teacher. That is how the group in Sao Paulo started. But the Rio de Janeiro group also continued to flourish. So it was going on like this. And with time, the Sao Paulo group began to grow more and more. He was a he had a personality to attract more and more people. And Rio de Janeiro also had a group well grown, and they had a huge center. Everything was wonderfully done. But later on, they had some squabbles within the group, and it became almost disintegrated. And that person who was uh, who was claiming to be the boss of Vedanta in Brazil after the passing away of Swami Vijayananda Maharaj, many people agreed with him and few people disagreed with him. So those who disagreed, they formed a small group. Like every religious group, it was like that. Anyway, in 1974, Swami Vijayananda's successor became Swami Paratparanandaji. He was a man of few words, but he engaged himself in translating books in Spanish. Today, all the books that we have in Spanish is because of his contribution, Swami Paratparanji. Then, of course, after him, Swami Pareshananji, we will see the video here. Pareshanji is the in charge of the center. Now he's there more than 30 years in Buenos Aires. So the group in Sao Paulo went to the headquarters of the Ramakrishna order in 1988. So I was the one who was there in the headquarters office to receive them. I received them and, of course, helped them to see around, including meeting the then vice president. No, at the time, he was not vice president, Swami Nirmalatmanandaji Maharaj. So they met Swami Nirmalatmanandaji Maharaj, met the president, and gave an application. And that application contained about 70 signatures, all Portuguese people, Brazilian devotees. We need a Swami, resident Swami. Because the Swami from Buenos Aires, he comes once in a week, once in a year, and spends a few days and goes away. But we needed someone, resident monk here. It was in the year of 1988. In 1998, the headquarters decided to send a Swami. And one Swami Nisheshanandaji, he was also the colleague of Swami Swami Vijayananda Maharaj. He worked in South Africa, and Swami Vijayananda Maharaj worked in South America. So this South Africa Swami Nisheshanji used to say, he used to make a lot of fun. He used to say, you see, I give 10 reasons to the headquarters to start a center in South Africa. And the headquarters give me 12 reasons for not to start it. That is how he presented in the training center when I was there. So, in 1998, they chose me, rather Swami Smaranandaji Maharaj. He said, I was traveling at the time in Tibet on 1 month pilgrimage. And there's a phone call came and said, hey, where are you moving? You have not given any notice at all about you and where are you? As soon as I reached Nepal and came to Calcutta, he said, we have decided to send you to Brazil. Okay. So that was the first message, and I am there for the last 25 years. And then what happened in the last 25 years, it is, I say it should be it's a miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. The group was small, but with the Swami's presence, they got a lot of enthusiasm. They began to actively participate. So one of the important thing is the devotees take part. The temple is there, the place is there, but the devotees take part, go and participate, maybe in any type of karma yoga. I could see in some of the centers in the West, doesn't matter. We have a Karma Yoga day, designated Karma Yoga day. Everybody comes 10, including they come with the garden instruments. Suppose you want to work in the garden, come with your garden instruments. There are people who do it. That is the Western style. I saw in many places. In Washington, D.C., I saw. In Berlin, I saw. In Paris Center, I saw. In other center also. So they come, they involve, they felt happy in being involved. That is an important thing. Not just because Swami said and you are feeling compelled. No, you feel happy to participate. We are part of it. It is Sri Ramakrishna Center. Vedanta Center is Ramakrishna's place. And we all participate in some way or other in spreading the message. That's why when I first entered into the house of São Paulo, a very simple house, it's Casa de Deus. That means this is a house of God. One small plaque was there, house of God. That is very interesting. Still it is there. So they treated like that. He invited like that. So the man who started the group, he always used to feel like this. Oh, my daughter, why you have not come here? Oh, my son, I feel your absence. Sri Ramakrishna is waiting for you. Come. Like that, one emotional touch they give. So it's really truly, and they remember this even after 30, 40 years, they remember him so much. So suddenly you will find completely a new person. The person says, oh, some 2 decades ago, when I came here first time, there was a man who called me like this, my daughter, why you have come here, please sit. What do you want? This is Sri Ramakrishna, this. And I just got lost. Now I am coming back. So you see the effect of the person. So today the center is being taken care of by the devotees, and there is a center in São Paulo with at least sufficient space and everything. We can see what is what. And that small house now grown into a bigger, we had a bigger place, and then we purchased another property. Then there are centers in nearby cities. Each city about 450 kilometers or 700 kilometers or 1,200 kilometers away. So they have their houses. The groups are small, but who are the devotees in Brazil? Devotees are Brazilians, but descendants of uh, either German or Italian or Spanish or Portuguese or Syrian Lebanese or Japanese or Korean or other European nations. They are the devotees. And what about the original Brazilian as such? There were about 700,000 Brazilian as such in the Amazonas region at that time when Jesuits invaded Brazil. They were either converted to Christianity or eliminated. Either of these. There is no other choice. Now today we have about 7,000. 700,000 reduced to 7,000 original Brazilians from Amazonas. The first person from that Amazonas tribes got a PhD some few years ago. I had participated in the function. Some of the wonderful teachings they have, for example, they don't greet by touching each other. They don't greet. They don't embrace. They don't hug. They don't shake hands. But how do they greet? They see your eyes. By seeing your eyes, they know whether you are all right or not. That is a tradition. Yeah. They don't tell the children, oh, what you will become. It is a crime to ask a children what you will become. in the tribal tradition therein. I was so surprised. Why? I asked, why, sir? That creates a kind of tension. Uh, we live with nature. The tribal, we live with nature. We are part of the nature. We fight for our existence, and other beings also fight for their existence. That is the creation of the nature. So we don't destroy. Uh, we live, suppose, and we respect the elders. You see, the Indian family tradition, we respect the elders. The elders are considered as one of the most sacred people. So they serve. So these are the values, some of the values I'm telling. Mm. And this is the original tradition, and we have contact with some of the leaders of this group. They invite us to talk, and I also invite them to talk. So we have a pretty quite good number of values in common with the original Brazilian tribe traditions with Vedanta. Interesting to see all these things. Our travel is not just only traveling and looking at sightseeing. Education is part of the travel. So we go, we talk to the taxi drivers, we talk to the man in the street, we talk to the tribal people, we talk to the peculiar appearance. For us, it is peculiar, but it's a way of educating ourselves. So before my leaving for Brazil, many people told me, "Oh, what a horrible place you are going." One American devotee said, "What God-forsaken place you are going?" Exactly the word they use. What God-forsaken place you are going? You are being posted and you are going. I know that very well, where they know very well of the order. I said, I don't want to fill up my mind with all the preconceived ideas. I just go with an open mind. That was one of the prerequisites of working in the foreign centers. We go with open mind and come and take things as they are. Not why I want to be like this or want what it was, as they are. So that is how I approach, and it worked very well. And even now, it is like it is the same thing. But it is not that all everything is smooth. We had our own challenges with them in many areas about food. You see, the culture is different, food is different, the style of life is different, the way of life is different, the way they look at you different, the way we look at them are different, the language is different, the habits are different, everything is different except the heart of the human beings. They are as good as you. uh, they feel for you. They like to be friendly with you. They like to share what they have. So that's enough. Rest of the thing, you just integrate yourself and trying to make present Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda and the Vedanta teachings in a way that integrate their culture. So that works very well. And there is only one language, Portuguese. 220 million people. There is not one single English newspaper. No, it's all in Portuguese. So the person who goes to war, he has to learn the language. So later on, I understood even the learning of the language is service to Sri Ramakrishna. Otherwise, you cannot do anything. Oh, I have to learn the language. No, it is part of the service to Sri Ramakrishna. Learn the language, communicate, and you can translate. If you go on telling about your own things, you may know many things, but if you cannot communicate the way they can understand, it is not going to be effective. So that is how I began to learn with them and mix with them. And today we have a good number of centers, at least 5 centers, 3 full-fledged centers. And in 1999, I was alone for 5 years. Then more now we are 4 monks, 3 full-fledged centers, and 2 sub-centers. All of them have their infrastructure very well set. If they want to grow, they can grow as they want, as they like, but they have to work hard. So that is the story to cut short. We will see. And 24 years of our first center in the order, we had the function recently. So some of the pictures we will show, and in about 18 minutes video, we can show about the different centers and its activities and the devotees. Normally people ask, oh, কতজন আছেন Bengali devotees, oh, Indian devotees. How many Indian devotees are there? How many Bengali devotees? I said zero. All of them Brazil. You can see. You have to find out, search where is there somebody. You see, they are all Christian families. They have the shrine in the home. There are people sincerely practice. Some of them are doctors and engineers or whatever it is. They have time to practice. Every Sunday, no matter how busy he was, one cardiac surgeon who used to do surgery 5 or 6 surgery every day, he finds time to come to the ashrama every Sunday, participate in the managing committee meetings without fail. So such dedication is there. So I tell them, Sri Ramakrishna has a special blessings for you people more than us. Because he knows your heart, he knows your way of life from at a far of distance when there was no Swami, no center, no book. There was only one book at that time. And you people have so much of love and affection and sincerity to follow their teachings. Surely he has, and all the disciples' blessings are there much more than we have. So that's, I tell them, really, I feel so. It is not that I'm just flattering them, no. I feel really that his blessings are there, special blessings. And it will be growing. You never know how it works and where from it comes. You never know, but it works. So he has his own way of taking his message and bringing fulfillment and courage and wisdom in their lives. We will see some of the effects. This is the video, no?
Yes.
Okay. This is the first video, about 18 minutes, about the work in Brazil, Vedanta centers and work in Brazil. Yeah.
So Portuguese they will not understand. From the pictures we can take from the movies. Music will not be there.
Yeah, music will not be there. No? If the speech is not there, music will not be there.
Okay.
Carol, can you change the subtitles in this? If you go to settings.
Because that how they present it.
In the settings.
Like first audio.
The commentary is in Portuguese. One of the devotee who is a professional, his commentary just comments how it started and this and like that. So we will have the English version in course of time. They are already working on that. You can click microphone and then start.
There is no. There is no. You can do it.
As it speaks, you can go back to that. It's not a very good thing. Bluetooth.
Oh, auto translate. I see.
You don't need to do it.
Yes.
Brasil começou no início do século XX, com ondulações das palestras proféticas de Swami Vivekananda.
I think that like yesterday. Okay. Like yesterday is okay.
Output device. Speaker. Yeah.
Now it's okay.
Now it should work. Yeah, it's working.
That's from the beginning.
Começou no início.
Screen share with audio आता है YouTube
So that's English.
You know where the soundbar is? Soundbar is here. Okay, is that connected to TV?
You can do it if you want.
You can connect.
You can connect.
And then you need to connect up to this.
Like yesterday, Mara, directly.
TV arc, TV arc. Yeah, TV arc. It is TV arc.
Directly. Directly. YouTube.
Now,
It will work.
Chica.
TV speaker should work. TV speaker should work. You are making something. No, we don't need this.
I disconnect. You disconnect. TV on of TV on of display.
This is
Connect that size for TV. You open.
it is translating. It is translating. That's
Yeah,
okay.
we're directly. Display with the display will have the sound. How we did it yesterday.
Toto.
No, not because the pictures will keep moving.
No, but that music is not there. That music is a very famous music in Brazil.
Have you connected it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I put in HDMI once.
Like yesterday, you just make it. Yeah, straight away just open the, yeah. Very good. Some music is there.
Foi publicada a tradução em português do Evangelho de Sri Ramakrishna, escrito por Swami
Start from the beginning.
अब हाँ इसका दे देते फुल कर देते या
अब देखो, या अब कास्ट कर रहे हो
प्लीज मेंटेन साइलेंस
वाह So he can see the world before the real church. How it is. Like the time. Even now, he is supposed to be but the church, and it was registered the same in
Ramakrishna mission was registered at the same time, without knowing who is what. But in 1909 it was registered. Okay. Rio de Janeiro after 2 years. But is it this is a house? This is one house. There's another house. When I reached there, this is the condition. Family donated a retreat property, which we are having now, and that was the inauguration of the property. Collected by the Italian family in Bhopal. 1 hour, 15 minutes from the center. It was in 1985. You see the number of people at the time together.
One of them came here, Miles, I'm trying to recognize him. One, that's one. This don't know.
This is the, we have this sign, there is a temple, and during the time, Swami Nirmalatmanandaji expanded this with new shrine. Of course, the shrine was modified now very recently. But it's now the most is now there. Yeah, more
Reception of the Swami. In the airport receiving the Swami, first time for Swami, President Swami. So this is the airport reception. Even now, they like to go a lot in number. It is a kind of ritual to see our Swami and they take some coffee and then right. 99. The São Paulo group. He passed away 1 month before my arrival. So now the other face. You understand? Where now? we- we- we purchase. In the retreat center. We are there in different cities. Just happen. Just more books now. University voting. Identify. Magazine that 300. He was the first Swami from Nirmalatmanandaji to visit South America officially from the headquarters in 2002.
Here.
No, don't wait. Guest house. Usually, when we have different we have about 5 professors per program. They give. These garments all manufactured devotee. They know how to make the garment. Even the mobile shrine, was made by even the shrine house. This is another place, about 400 kilometers. Yeah, 3 years he stayed, but not at this. Thank you. From apartment for the one more than a year. Whenever I visit, I used to sleep there. There is a full room, devotee, and shrine, everything there. Gandhi, for data in Jesus, Jnana disciple, it is she who gave all the resources of creating the center in Rio de Janeiro. No, 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 is from Jewish family. Jnana.
Disconnect.
Remember when you were here?
Yeah, they almost killed him.
You have to share again. Maharaj, it disconnects automatically.
Lord, is there any Swami at Sankiri? Whatever the Maharaj.
Now, there is no Swami now, but we visit quite often. Stay for 10 days, 15 days, until he is Swami.
belo musical Gadai floresceu, animando todos os eventos do Ashirama. Em 2006, tornou-se um subcentro oficial da ordem e finalmente recebeu o status de centro independente em 2021. Nomeado por Belur Mati como ministro responsável, o Swami Atmayananda chegou ao Brasil em novembro de 2021 e assumiu o centro em 1 de janeiro de 2022. A cidade de Belo Horizonte é a terceira maior cidade do Brasil. No final de 1999, o grupo de devotos de Vedanta foi reiniciado com a visita do Swami Nirmalatmanandaji. O Centro Vedanta foi inaugurado em 2000 e o Centro Social em 2010. Dessa forma, o Centro de Belo Horizonte possui uma das melhores infraestruturas de atividades espirituais e de serviço social no Brasil. Ainda permanece como um subcentro oficial da ordem e se prepara para ser um centro independente. A cidade de Belo Horizonte é especial por causa de um evento extraordinário.
Appeared in the vision of a man who created the center in 1950s, flourished like anything, and then there were many obstacles. Every time he appeared, at least 3 times he appeared, and then today it's one of the biggest social service center in the name of Ramakrishna. It was started as a Ramakrishna mission, but now the Institute of Ramakrishna. It's about 150 kilometers away from the Belo Horizonte, that means about 800 kilometers away from.
Ocorrido décadas atrás. Leigo e jornalista de profissão, Arlindo Gomes
3 times about Swami Brahma. We did not know who he was. One of his friends sent a book in which he saw Swami Brahma, Swami Brahma Maharaj said, "This is the faith and he confirmed it with his own spiritual master."
Maria da Silva teve repetidas visões de Swami Brahmananda na década de 1950. O Swami o instruiu a fazer algo pelas crianças carentes da rua. Inspirado por isso, ele começou a atividade e logo se transformou em uma instituição filantrópica na área de educação profissionalizante e saúde. Iniciado com o nome de Missão Ramakrishna, foi registrado como uma organização de serviço social em 1959, hoje conhecido como Instituto Ramakrishna.
And there is a wire fencing Ramakrishna. As you drive, you can see on the road billboards.
Tornou-se um grande agente de mudanças na sociedade daquela área e inspira os visitantes. Ainda que a instituição não pertença à Ordem Ramakrishna, ambos nutrem grande amizade e admiração entre si. O Centro Ramakrishna Vedanta em Brasília, capital do país, é outro grupo em rápido desenvolvimento. Foi iniciado em 2011 por um grupo de devotos liderados por Lívia Borges e tem um potencial enorme. Swami Nirmalatmanandaji e outros monges visitam e conduzem atividades nesse centro regularmente. Palestras de swamis visitantes também são realizadas ali. Uma casa própria em 2018 e foi
Sufficient for the for sufficient enough for the group to do activities if they want more and if they want to expand. Yeah.
foi afiliado à Ordem Ramakrishna como subcentro oficial em julho de 2023. O Swami Nirmalatmananda continua nutrindo outros grupos independentes.
We had first meetings, but they want to come very often and stay and then do some. I used to do online classes for them, but then because of various engagement, not regularly conducted, but there is a possibility of starting.
Independentes no Brasil, como Salvador e Fortaleza. Todos esses centros oficiais fazem algum trabalho de bem-estar social dentro da sua capacidade limitada, como distribuição de alimentos para pobres e necessitados, materiais de estudo necessários para as crianças e ajuda durante calamidades naturais. O Swami Nirmalatmananda também é convidado para dar palestras em vários centros da ordem em diversos países e participa de congressos anuais de yoga pelo Brasil.
The Senate or the what we call Lok Sabha, Parliament, they invite Swami on the International Yoga Day. Twice I have been there and another interview is, for example, I'm part of the state inter-religious meetings which are held in the assembly. So there is any time you can go there.
Este jubileu, Swami Ramakrishna, Santa Mãe Sri Sarada Devi e Swami Vivekananda abençoem a todos nós, particularmente os devotos e amigos do Vedanta no Brasil, cujo amor pelo Vedanta, dedicação à causa e alegria no trabalho do movimento são imensos. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma.
Working on winter, their meeting is like this. So this is the more or less.
Yeah. Now we had the recently. Is there time enough to show some photos? So we had some big way celebration of 25 years silver jubilee celebration. Some photos we can just see to have the idea of how things. Just another link you click. Yeah.
I'll start with a salutation and then we will go into the subject.
Can we go forward?
Yeah, this on the first day we had a simple celebration with a puja, simple puja. This you can go forward because everybody knows how the puja is arranged. Yeah, these are the devotees. The puja we had in our own space, but the main public meetings, other events in another place where we hired, and you can see. On that day, the puja. Yeah, go ahead. This is the Swami in charge of our center in Providence.
Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swami Nirmalatmanandaji. Привет, Swamiji. Привет, Mataji.
Just come back to
Dear
the photo.
friends,
That brahmachari who is showing the arati,
amazing.
he is now
really
brahmachari.
fascinating
He's a
worthy.
Portuguese brahmachari. So we have a Swami,
The subject
Portuguese
is
Swami, and Portuguese brahmachari. Now is about 2 years he is there.
And for a change, Mataji decided to make it more interesting.
Okay.
And she proposed that we switch. Swami Atmarupanji is equally comfortable across the board, but I'm a little bit more
We have in our ashrama Belpata, that is big trees in Rio de Janeiro, in other center, Belpata we have. So it can provide for any center.
I said, good, we'll do that. I've been traveling in the Himalayas recently. I've just come back yesterday.
The puja was very short because the function started in the afternoon in another place.
In the Himalayas, we
So this is the place we hired and then have the started the function of Silver Jubilee celebrations. Yeah.
That was established by Swami.
We had about 15 banners explaining the order, explaining the activities in general.
Project where he wanted exclusive center and a set of rules and procedures which would enable the practice of philosophical inquiry.
The Brahma Kumari is in charge there.
Beyond what this world is leading to eventual realization, enlightenment. But I said that is exclusive and that is peculiar because that is certainly not mainstream. And the mainstream in Hinduism, across India, across the world, in all religions, the mainstream is devotion, is faith and devotion and surrender, what we call the path of bhakti. So that's what I'll talk about. Even in the traditional non-dualistic
So he's the ambassador.
ashrams,
He presided the meeting,
non-dualistic
ambassador of India.
practitioners in the Himalayas, you'll always find some component of bhakti. I remember this monk who seemed a radical non-dualist. About 20 years ago, I was in the Himalayas.
He's our vice president,
talking
one of
to
the
this
most
monk,
important
friendly.
person who
He used to say,
they have not been to India.
you know,
So you come to that
say,
picture.
"Arey Mahatma ji, hum to adha nastik."
Yeah, you see, he and his brother, a cardiologist, they have never been to India, but they are so devoted. I said one day, I was talking to them, and then he told me one of the important things that struck me very deeply. He said, "You see, Swami, I have 3 sons. 3 sons, 2 of them are married, and one is going to marry or whatever it is. But I have another one that is the ashrama." And I was so moved.
Evidently repeating, silently repeating a mantra. So I quickly left the room and I asked some other monk. That Swami seemed to be a radical non-dualist. But today I went in and suddenly I found that he is repeating a mantra, which is usually a very, very devotional practice. So what's the deal here? And that other Swami, who was a Punjabi monk, he grinned and he said,
She's one of the Zen Buddhist nuns who is very popular in São Paulo or in Brazil.
It seems to be his knowledge on the surface and devotion within. This is what Swami Vivekananda had said. Spiritual masters are not easy to fathom. He said that Sri Ramakrishna, the old man, you would call him the old man.
She is a founder of the Philosophical Institute, which is well known in Brazil also. All of these people, from the time I landed up in 1999, I had contact. So they continue to our good friends and very well wishers, and we exchange ideas each other, cooperate each other.
To some extent, we all have these sides, sometimes unknown to ourselves. Carl Jung said that everybody has this male and feminine side.
But the entire proceeding in Portuguese.
So bhakti, there are different paradigms of spiritual life. And for example, let's take 3 paradigms. The knowledge paradigm, the yogic or mystical paradigm, and the bhakti or devotional paradigm of love. In the knowledge paradigm, the idea is that we are that ultimate reality, Brahman, and we do not know what we are. This ignorance is the problem. And whenever ignorance is the problem, knowledge is obviously the solution.
He is the man.
So,
He is the man who produced the video.
ignorance of our real
And
nature is the
he
problem.
has an
Knowledge
institute.
of our real nature
He
is
has
the solution.
he produces documentaries,
Practice becomes how to
and
generate
this
knowledge of our
couple,
real nature. So
and
hence
she is
you
in
have
charge. She is the
study
vice
of
president
texts
of
and
one of the
listening to
international
meetings about
institutions,
documents, then reasoning it out, getting
change
understanding
makers,
of it,
Ashoka Foundation,
deepening it until it becomes
which is well known
practical.
all over the world, even in
Shravana
India.
Manana.
She is the vice
That
president
becomes the
of that
practice.
institution.
Whereas in the yogic approach is, I must have a direct experience of God. I think in some sense, Swami Vivekananda was a greater yogi than even, he was a jnani, a yogi, and a bhakta, and a karmi, man of action, a sage of action, a sage of knowledge,
Group,
and a great mystic,
music
and
group,
a great lover of God.
is a very, very solid group. They can sing at least 2 hours minimum in Portuguese songs about Thakur Mahar, Swamiji, Vivekananda. They themselves produce
This young
everything.
man goes to Sri Ramakrishna and asks, have you seen God? Can there be
He's
a direct
92.
experience? Like you're having a direct
He considers
experience
himself
of
soldier of Swami
God. You're
Vivekananda.
having a direct experience of our
But
Swami.
never then he
Where do you
blasts,
have
never
direct
then he
experience
fights,
of
but
God
then
like that?
we tell them,
Have you
don't
had this
worry,
experience?
go ahead as
Sri
you want.
Ramakrishna says, yes, I
But
have.
he is
And I have
extremely
seen God, and I see God more clearly than I see you.
knowledgeable person about the order of the Swamis. He can present the Swami in a way that people begin to know, oh, we want to know more about the order, more about the Swami, like that.
They have a history, an ancient history, going all the way back to the beginnings of human history and beyond that into prehistory. So, mystical path. The problem in this path is our minds are not pure enough, our minds are not calm enough, our minds are not inward enough. By a process of purifying, calming, and inwardizing our minds,
Girl, when I
we
first
come to
landed up
realize
in
the
1
truth
month
of
time, I landed up in
Notice
the
that
end of March.
this and the knowledge of Here it's
April,
not so
in the
much,
month of May, she
studying
was
and
13-year-old,
trying to
and
understand.
they had a performance in one of the cultural centers, and her mother invited me to go there. Mother was actually a better, a professional dancer, Bharatanatyam dancer. Now she is in charge of that school. So I presented her when I told her, and she accepted, and she came. Or 10 minutes program she Bharatanatyam dance.
Mind is pure, mind is still. If you can make it pure and still, you should be able to see the reality which is beyond the mind. That's the claim of religion. The immortal soul, God, whatever you call it, transcends the mind. So it's there, and we should be able to see it. There is another path.
They are from
The path
Uruguay.
which concerns us today.
From
path of
Uruguay, some of the devotees
love,
came and
devotion,
participated. Yeah.
love of God. Here, the idea is not so much reading. Of course, there is enormous amounts of bhakti literature.
It was a 2-day program from morning 9 to evening 8, on various themes, plus a roundtable conference. And
not even so much about controlling the mind.
on that day, it was the day of Memorial Day of Swami Nirmalatmanandaji. So we presented quickly. We made a documentaries of 1 minute, and we had a dedication in the name of Maharaj.
Generates this entire universe, the power which runs this universe, the power which can ultimately dissolve this universe. And
because he visited Brazil, he visited and stayed for a month. No.
This tremendous supreme power is
there. This is the group, Gadai, Group Gadai, Rio de Janeiro.
Worship God.
There are devotees who were passing on the sidewalk, hearing this very peculiar sound, peculiar music and language, and entered into the house to know what it is and become devotees also.
Ancient seekers have come across this tremendous fact of spiritual, the fact called God. Now, bhakti uniquely takes the help of God. So, devotion, the path of devotion, is the path which holds on to God and tries to attain liberation, tries to attain spiritual realization. Why? Why are we engaged in all of this? The goal is, in Vedanta, it's the same in all the paths. We seek a solution to the human condition. That in this life there is unhappiness, there is misery, suffering. It's limited. It's bound by birth and
This
unit,
whole
and
lunch,
by
coffee
inevitable
break,
death.
everything prepared by devotees
In between also,
about
if
for,
it was a
for about 300 people
it would still take it
because
in.
the cost
But it's
became
not
so
a party
less.
in between.
Otherwise, if you contract, it is huge. But one way
Great
it's
amounts of
good,
struggle and sorrow.
the participation.
I sometimes say, in a pessimistic tone, there are only two possibilities in this worldly life. Either you are dissatisfied or you're frustrated. We want things in this world, and if you get it, the guarantee is you're going to be dissatisfied. And if you do not get it, the guarantee is you're going to be frustrated. So these are the only two possibilities, very bleak possibilities. So so-called pleasure.
Yes, Swami Jitananda, you all know, 5 months almost you was here.
The Buddha pointed out even that is suffering. So we don't see it. It's a superficial coating on underlying suffering. Notice how evanescent pleasure is. Notice how temporary, how difficult it is to get, even more difficult to maintain, and then it leaves its traces behind, it leaves its poison in our system, so that we want it more and more varieties. And nothing is quite enough, and very soon, as we become mature, all of that becomes empty and dissatisfying. This elderly lady, devotee, she had come here, and she was telling me that, you know, before coming, taking up spiritual life seriously, I'm thinking, my life is sort of done. I'm old now. Why am I alive? I'll be alive for a few more years, and it'll mostly be difficult and unpleasant as the body deteriorates and it goes towards inevitable death. Why go through all of that? I think a lot of sensitive people think that way, and they are right. That's why Kamu's stunning beginning to his book, the only serious, I think it's the outsider or the rebel, the only
It's a psychologist presenting about mental health.
Why should I not kill myself right now? Why should I not commit suicide? That's the only serious philosophy.
We have about 15 hours video, and then we have to now edit everything and put in one small, maybe 45 minutes or 2 minutes video.
In a devotional, there is an answer to this. Is overcoming suffering possible?
Okay.
Yes, a very emphatic yes. All the religions of the world, all the mystical spiritual traditions of the world, throughout history, answer in the affirmative with a thunderous voice. Yes, it is.
It is. We are coming to an end. Yeah.
And we too must walk.
So this is the Leela of Thakur in Brazil. So similarly, we have in Buenos Aires, of course. Buenos Aires center is very old center. So very interesting to see how people are attracted. You can see how many were there. Only ambassador, and we are the only Indian as such. There are very few people now in Brazil, about 200 to 300 families at the most. That means about 2,000 people. They are all scattered everywhere. If somebody comes, it's okay, fine. But otherwise, it's all done by themselves. It is for them. And then we wanted to be like that. But when if any devotee comes, is most welcome to participate. And there is one devotee family from South Africa. They moved from South Africa to Sao Paulo about 50 years ago. They are the only person now and then they visit. Otherwise, purely it is all the local people.
Right now, if you want to be happy limitlessly, endlessly, sustainably,
very good.
then just
thank you very much for your presence, those who are and those who are attending online. Of course, there was some interruption. But we all have enough patience to understand what is what. Thank you very much. And then take my only my way of saying is when the devotees take part in the activities of the center, doesn't matter where it is. We sometimes make jokes. We have classification of devotees: 5-star devotees, 4-star devotees, 3-star devotees, 2-star devotees. And then that man, Jandir, he was a very funny man, but very sincere, very affectionate. When I heard him, what is that 5-star devotees? Oh, I will explain to you. Suppose a new person comes, and then the person engages himself or herself in activities. Then he says, oh, you have the 5-star tendency of the devotee. Then she becomes curious. Who are they? And he says, those who are engaged in cleaning the vessels in the kitchen, or cleaning the bathrooms, or cleaning that normally people don't like so much, they are 5-star devotees. Then there comes a 4-star devotee who cooks, and a 4-star. Then others, like arranging here and there, 3-star. Then those who are visiting, like that, he makes very funny things. So we tell them, but they like very much. After all, we are trained like that. Any work is a form of adoration. So we learn from work. The objective of work is not just gaining something or anything. Objective of work is learning wisdom. Objective of work is nothing but knowledge. Swami Vivekananda explains very well. So we try to understand, oh, this I like it, this I don't like it. So you know what is you are. So Swami Vandananandaji was a great Swami, one of the Swamis under whom I was there. He gave a lecture in the training center. He said, you see, the training center is a place where all the boys come from different places, different culture, different strata of the society. Here, everybody is same. So you sleep in the same room, 3 persons. One likes the light to be put off, another don't like. So there will be clashes of egos, clashes of likes and dislikes. But he said one secret. I will tell you one secret. If you begin to like what you do now here, you will do what you like later in your life. I can never forget this. I see this. If you like what you do now, because the training center was a very tough place. 2 months you wash the bathroom, 2 months in the shrine, 2 months serve the devotee, 2 months you clean the garden. So the routine was such, some people like, some people don't like. They grumble, we grumble. Very visibly, you can say. So he gave this talk. If you begin to like what you do now, you will do what you like later in your life. That is what I feel. I enjoy that. I enjoy, oh, I like to do this, I like to do that. Okay, go. So that is how Sri Ramakrishna's work is going on. We are very happy that somehow or other, some persons come, learn, and then try to be a devotee and enrich himself or herself with spiritual strength, wisdom, and reducing the stress of life in some way or other, becoming more and more stronger. So may Sri Ramakrishna bless you all with the spiritual wisdom, strength, and knowledge, and may we all progress towards the goal through our own effort as well as the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and